Hailing from the Jersey Shore and raised as athletes, the Airy Bros have always shared a passion for physical culture, athletic performance, and human optimization, always striving to be the strongest versions of themselves, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Along the way, they've met some pretty amazing humans and have had some pretty epic adventures. The intention of Airy Bros Radio is to showcase these amazing people and the impact that they've had on them, and to share tips, tricks, and hacks so that you can win each day, every day.
And I do engineer, and I do produce, and I make my own sounds, and I mix and master all my own stuff. I do every piece of the puzzle. Wave's really cool because it pulls influences from all other kinds of electronic music. There's house wave tracks, there's drum and bass wave tracks, there's like your typical big EDM banger style wave tracks. It's gotten to a point where I think enough people are aware that if you kind of define it by the stylistic or the aesthetic elements, that you box it in. Realm is like this. It's a multimedia art project. It's a collaborative between Noah B and myself. And it's music and 2D and 3D art, and it's clothing, and there's a story. It will become way more than that, but that's just what it is for the moment. But I made a beat every day for 100 days, and I was like, okay.
What up, y'all? This is Airy Bros Radio, and this is episode 33 with artist, producer, DJ extraordinaire, Just Connor. You ready, Prince?
Yo, you already know Airy Bros are locked and loaded, ready to give you Just Connor.
As soon as you hit download on this podcast, next thing you're going to do is go look up Just Connor and stream, download, buy some of his music. It is epic. I love to run to it. Really helps me get into that flow, tap into my breathing, get into some of that moving meditation. Just an awesome conversation, talking with a rad dude that one day, looking at the school bus, decided he was going to make some beats, put his mind to it, manifested some shit, and here we are.
Yeah, this podcast is a great way for Just Connor fans to dive deep into Connor, who he is, what he's about, what the man behind the music is about, what goes into making music. So this is a great podcast. Connor's an epic person, a vibe brother. He's in the Dog Pound Vibe Tribe. It's epic getting him on here to talk about everything he's got going on, where he's been, and everything in between.
Yeah, we covered it all. Getting from New York, New Paltz, Poughkeepsie,
The
Gunks, out to the big mountains of Colorado, going over to Europe, couch surfing, making beats, doing shows, meditating at a very early age, manifesting things, the secret, all those cool things. So Connor is a rad dude. We had a rad conversation. You can really see the difference between an in-studio guest and someone that's on phone, and then just in general when you have someone that you have a connection with that you already know, kind of eases that and sets the foundation and framework for an epic conversation. We still need to get Connor up to 14,000 feet once the snow melts. Connor, if you're just listening, mark your calendar, coming in January. I believe it's the 17th. Buka Shade, dog. Let's go.
Let's make it happen, dog. Hope everyone enjoys this podcast as much as we did. As always, Connor's an epic person I've met along the journey, and I'm stoked we get to give him to you. Richie Rich, let's do this.
Yo, this is Airy Bros Radio. This is episode 33 with Just Connor. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Much love. Namaste from the boys of 1512.
This is just Connor, and you're listening to the Airy Bros Radio.
Awesome.
You can cut the out if you don't want
Well,
it.
do it again. Do it right. You're good, dog. It's funny when we do that, you see how different it is with each person.
Sure.
Yeah, like some people are like, this is Airy Brothers Radio. This is Airy Brothers Radio.
Is this good here? Or do you want me there?
You're good. You're good, yeah.
I'm going to be doing a lot of this. I think,
Yeah.
That's what I'm
regardless.
saying,
So
Do you want it? Yeah, just switch it up, I guess. Yeah. Connor, go into Rich's seat.
that's where you want me?
Yeah. Or do you want him to stay there, Rich?
No, I think there, so that we can both.
All right. Cool.
I see a flyer outside. It says part-time work. Text for
Thanks.
info, $18 an hour. What's up?
Yo, we're going to get you out of Natty G's sooner or later, dog.
You're going to get me to enroll in college again, I think is what's going to end up happening.
Good. Yeah, I can get you a show on the station. Like, the minute we get out of here, we can pitch it.
It would be so much fun. I haven't had my own radio show since I was the president of the radio program at my college. I do guest host on the Vibe Digital podcast series, which started out as a radio program on KRUI out of Iowa, which is super, super dope. It was like the first wave-based actual airwaves radio show. So fucking cool. There's a couple other ones out there now, kind of scattered all around.
Are you from Iowa?
No, my homie Donnie is. He runs the Vibe Digital record label.
Oh, right on.
He's like the head A&R.
Where are you from?
I'm from New York, actually.
Oh, sick.
You guys interviewed Satsong, and
Yeah.
on your first one,
Are you from the Gunks?
Yeah, so where he calls in and you're like, yo, where are you? And he's like, I'm in New Paltz. I'm in the Gunks. I'm like, what the fuck?
So you grew up in the Gunks, yeah?
Yeah,
So
that's I grew up maybe 10 minutes away from New Paltz, south, just
Poughkeepsie?
a pinch. I was born in Poughkeepsie, actually. I was born in Vassar Brothers Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. That's so wild. I've been in Colorado for 6 months. And to have somebody be like, oh, Poughkeepsie, blows my fucking mind.
So you came right from there to Colorado?
Yeah, I was living 45 minutes north of New Paltz in the city of Kingston.
Yeah.
Was the original...
Give me a fist distance.
Fist distance?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I get excited.
Yo, I want you excited, bro. Bring that energy, kid.
It's the original capital of New York. And I lived there for a year. And then I moved to Colorado. Yeah.
What made you move? What brought that about?
I was working 3 jobs, working 80-plus hours a week, salaried. Hadn't had a vacation for 3 years and decided that I was going to travel Europe. I was going to fill a bag with as much as I could and go and see where my savings could take me. Just straight out. I knew I wanted to get away. I knew I wanted to go see the other side of the world. And fortunately, unbelievably, this story sounds so wild. Imagine telling the story to your grandparents, right? All of my online music friends, through this little niche community, I put the word out, I'm going to come to Europe. Does anybody want to hang out? All of a sudden, I had a place to stay in London. I had a place to stay in the Netherlands. I had a place to stay in Germany. I had a place to stay in Switzerland. And it was like, oh, I can couch surf across the continent of Europe. Yeah, I'm going to quit my jobs and go do that. Was the most amazing trip. These people that I'd never met before opened their doors and their arms to me and gave me their time and their space. And it was life-changing, to be honest.
Yeah.
What an incredible experience. And I had been doing a lot of traveling. I had just gotten back. I had spent a week up in Boston. I had just gotten back from Chicago. I was down in Richmond. I was doing a lot of traveling, and I found out that I felt the best I'd ever felt in my entire life when I was traveling. Wow. I have more fun when I'm anywhere but the place that I grew up. Maybe I should go spend some time somewhere else, right? And for my birthday, right before I quit my job, I went out. I took my first solid week off of work that I'd taken and I flew out here. So Donnie from Vibe Digital Fumes was out here for work, and he was like, "Yo, you should come out. Like, you should stay on Jordan's sofa." Jordan's the homie Mingo. Never like met him in real life. Donnie and I are boys, but I never met Jordan in real life. And he's like, "Well, I'll hit Jordan up and see if like maybe you could crash on his sofa and like we could spend some time together." Whoa, cool. That's crazy. Yeah. Come stay as long as you like. What's mine is yours. Oh, okay. And I booked a flight and I flew out, and he met me at his door and opened his door and opened his arms and said, "You're here. Like, welcome." And I had never once in my entire life walked into a place that I had never been before and felt more at home than I did at home, which was wild. And I was like, oh, there's something special here. And I don't know if it's just the change of location. I don't know if it's just the people, but I'm interested in finding that out. I put a word out that I was going to be in Colorado for a few more days, and I was going to try and get all of like my friends that were kind of close in terms of distance to come out. And we had it was awesome. It was like a little producer summit. 5 other homies drove all the way out to Boulder to meet up with us, and I don't believe any of them had ever met each other in person before, and they all linked up to get together for the first time so they could carpool out. And it was like meeting all of my high school best friends again. It wasn't like meeting anybody for the first time. It was, "What's up, dude? What's good? Like, how are you?" And everybody was so excited, and everybody got along so well. And we made a bunch of music, and we had an incredible time. And I left. And when I left, I was inspired for like 2 weeks, maybe 3. And all I could think about was coming back to Colorado. Having that feeling like, oh, there's something worth spending a considerable amount of time pursuing there. And I'm not exactly sure what that is, aside from the possibility of bringing a community together and seeing like what would blossom from fostering it. And I came back from Europe, and I was home for 3 days, and I had booked a flight to come back to Colorado and slept on some sofas and looked at some places to live. Went back home for maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and decided that I was booked to play a show in Chicago. It was an album or an EP release party, and I decided that when I had got back, I was going to give myself 24 hours to pack my car. And I'm going to drive to Colorado. You can fly out and try and find a place to live, you know what I mean? And if you don't, like, oh, boo-hoo, woe is me. Or you can just get your ass in the car and go out and do what the fuck you want to do. And once you're out in Colorado, like, you need to make it happen, you know what I mean? And I just spent the last 2 months of my life proving to myself that I could make anything happen. So why would, failure's not an option. So I drove 2,200 miles from New York to Colorado. It took 2 days.
By yourself?
Yeah. With everything that I could fit in my car. You got the laptop. You got some pillows. Here we are.
I love it.
Speaking Richie's language,
Yeah,
man. That's our language, dude.
Kind of similar things that we've definitely done in the past. I moved to California the first time in 2010, and it was that same kind of thing. Like, I love to travel. I feel more at home when I'm on the road or when I'm doing different things. And when I'm at home, I don't feel comfortable in my skin, and I'm just looking for that next thing, or where can I go, what can I do? But man, you're speaking my language for sure.
Yeah.
How long were you in Europe for?
A little over a month. Yeah.
And you couch surfed the whole
way, yeah. I'd love to shout all the homies out. Shout them out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Skit and Careful and Five Sons and Tim Schaffer and Juche and LTHL, and man, it's a really long list. And while I was out there, I had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with people whose music has inspired me or inspired my friends, that I didn't think I would have the opportunity to meet going out there. So that was really wild. I'm sure I'm forgetting some people. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was wild.
Were you making music when you were out there?
Yeah, I made a ton.